Okay, so I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about my interview strategy. So there's a couple different things I'm considering as far as being strategic for this interview season, both with how I interact with faculty and residents during interviews, how I prepare for interviews, and how I eventually formulate my rank list. So first things, one of the things that I created for myself was this checklist. I love organization, I love efficiency and optimization, and I wanted to make sure that I am able to prepare for every single interview adequately and also kind of give every interview like kind of a fair shot when I'm analyzing them and when I'm giving them things to analyze me on. Hey guys, it is day one of residency interview season for me, and I have my first interview. Our interview season for the specialty that I'm interviewing for, which is otolaryngology head and neck surgery, or ENT for some of you folks. The season was pushed back just a couple weeks from the traditional time frame, and that's just because of COVID, the pandemic. So no in-person interviews, everything is virtual. Everybody's really doing such a great job at trying to create this experience virtually. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. I woke up not too long ago. I think I'm very prepared, very excited, so I will see you guys afterward, let you guys know how it went. Wow, just finished my first residency interview for otolaryngology head and neck surgery. Started at like 8:30 this morning. It's now like 2 o'clock. I definitely underestimated how taxing this process is. And it's not particularly hard, but you just have to realize that you're just on the whole time. You got to just be crisp and sharp and to the point. You got to make sure that you're being mentally aware throughout the entire process. The format of this one, we had like a 30-45 minute introduction. Then we hopped into a room where we were like in an individual breakout room. And then so we had a series of about 5 15-minute interviews. We had a break in the middle of the day. Then we had another series of 5 15-minute interviews, and between each interview there was about a 5-minute break where we can take notes or like decompress or go to the bathroom or whatever. And then it ended with about an hour of another informational session by the residents, and they just kind of gave us a look into resident life. So some important things for you guys: if you have to do this in the future, make sure you have a comfortable chair. My chair is pretty comfortable, but as sitting on it for as long as I did, it definitely started to get a little bit uncomfortable. I felt myself shifting toward the end. Something to keep in mind too, like maybe don't have a swivel chair. I definitely noticed some people just kind of like rocking back and forth in their chairs, and I'm glad that I had just a stationary chair to where I couldn't be too fidgety. I think that was something that was helpful. Definitely a great day. Really enjoyed this interview, really enjoyed this being my first interview, but now I'm just going to come and sit down because I could definitely use some opportunities to relax. So I will catch you guys on the next one. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about my interview strategy. So there's a couple different things I'm considering as far as being strategic for this interview season, both with how I interact with faculty and residents during interviews, how I prepare for interviews, and how I eventually formulate my rank list. One of the things that I created for myself was this checklist. I love organization, I love efficiency and optimization, and I wanted to make sure that I am able to prepare for every single interview adequately and also kind of give every interview like kind of a fair shot when I'm analyzing them and when I'm giving them things to analyze me on. So I created this checklist here. This checklist is just a list of different factors to consider, like when to follow up with the program, when to confirm interview details, how to research a program, so different resources to look at when researching the program. Just kind of like a list or a rubric of sorts. And if you guys want this checklist, I'm going to include a link to it in my description so you guys can use it as well. If you're having any interviews coming up, or if you have some interviews in the future that you just want to make sure you're prepared for. What I did even before the interview season started, back during application season, is I really strategically figured out which programs I truly wanted to apply to. I applied a lot on the West Coast. You know, my home is California. I'm a West Coast guy. But I also applied a lot on the East Coast because, you know, that's a whole different vibe. It's a whole different lifestyle. And so moving forward, when I go into making a rank list, I really have a lot of different options that I truly would love to see myself in the future, depending on where I end up matching. All right, guys, I got my second interview coming up in like 20 minutes. It's an afternoon interview, so I've had the morning to just kind of relax, eat, work out a little bit. I'm pretty much taking the same approach, same white shirt. I have a different tie, but I'm gonna go with the same dark blue suit, nothing really new there. But I don't think I mentioned this last time. If you guys take a look, boom, the shoes. Shoes for interviewing. You know, I could really get into character here. I can really feel my best because I'm dressed my best. Obviously got the interview pants on. I don't know if any of you out there are rocking sweatpants during the interview, but not me. Things I'm doing differently this time. I'm gonna have some snacks on deck. It can be kind of a long day, so you know, there's like little breaks through the day. I don't wanna get up for too long, so I'm gonna keep some snacks nearby. The second thing I'm doing differently, since I got these long sleeves on, since I got the long jacket on, I'm under the lights, it gets kind of hot. So I'm turning the temperature in my apartment way down so the heat doesn't kick on. I guess I'll just see you guys after the interview. It's my first week back in Kansas City. I was in California visiting my family for the holidays, had a great Christmas, a great New Year's, but now we are back in Kansas City and it is back to business, okay? This is my first January interview cluster, and when I say cluster, I really mean it. So like back to back to back interviews. Today's Wednesday, tomorrow, Thursday, I have an interview, Friday interview, Saturday interview, Sunday I have a social event, Monday another interview, Tuesday another social event, Wednesday, Thursday, 2 more interviews. So really just like one after the other, just relentless interviewing. And on some of those interview days, I also have other social events. Yeah, I'm looking a little bit scruffy. Definitely not showing up to my interview like this. That's why I don't have my tie tied yet, because I gotta do a quick trim of the facial hair. I'm excited, if you guys can't tell. Definitely excited to get into this first interview cluster. Some really awesome programs that I'm really looking forward to getting to know. So I'll keep you guys posted on how that looks. And so stay tuned. All right, you guys, so I am nearing the end of interview season, and what a freaking whirlwind it has been. Like, damn, it has been crazy. So there was one point in time where I had like 6 interviews in 8 days. If this interview season was in person and I had to fly to all those different places, I imagine I'd probably just be like a zombie by the end of it. So it's definitely a luxury being able to interview for a couple hours, then just hop on my couch and just like take a seat and relax a little bit. Yes, you know, it would be nice to see all these programs in person and get the city, get the vibe of the city, get the vibe of the people, but you know, the Zoom circumstances, the Zoom situation really isn't bad. You can really connect with people, just having that face-to-face interaction over Zoom. People are really down to earth. At this point, I have about 4 interviews left. I had one yesterday. I have another one today that's coming up in like 30 minutes, another one tomorrow, and then 2 more next week. So I'll finally be done the last Friday of January, and then it's rank list time, and yo, it's gonna be tough. Like, all these programs are great. Like, they're all fantastic. So I gotta finish getting ready for this interview. I gotta finish tying this tie up here, and I'll see you guys after. Well, that about does it. That's a wrap. Okay, a little bit better. Yeah, so finally concluded interview season. Huge whirlwind. I had so much fun. You know, throughout this whole process, there's definitely some things that I have learned along the way. Maybe some things I would have done a little bit differently. You know, I like the fact that toward the end of interview season, we all kind of started seeing each other over and over and getting a little bit more comfortable with each other. So I reached out to a lot of different people and said, hey, you know, I've seen you on a couple different interviews. Let's link up, let's connect, let's chit chat and see what you think about different programs. And I had people reach out to me as well, and just kind of developing some friends, even though we've never met in person. We're really not letting this virtual format dictate, you know, how we have our interactions later in the future. Interview season is officially over, you guys. At this point, now I just have to make my rank list. And that's going to be a whole different thing. So I'm going to meet with some of my mentors. I'm going to meet with some different residents at my institution, kind of get their advice, get their feedback, but eventually I will have a solid rank list. So yeah, that's what's next for me. That's what's in the bag. Done with interview season. Got to make my rank list now. So if you guys have any questions, if you guys want to know more information, just let me know down in the comment section. If you're not already, make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Go ahead and like this video, follow me on Instagram, all that different stuff. But other than that, you guys wish me luck, and I will catch you on the next one.